So, bro, first of all, respect to you that you can watch this kind of a video as you're watching right now, which is completely unedited, because 99% of people wouldn't be able to do so, because they are used to watching super edited, highly stimulating videos. And so respect to you. And if you are someone who hates studying for school, then this lesson will be perfect for you. Or if you are someone who is like super lazy when it comes to helping their parents or something like that. For example, when I had to help in the garden, help my parents in the garden, I always was super lazy and I didn't want to do so. But it wasn't only because of laziness, and I can explain that in a future video. But right now, I want to talk about something else. And so currently, my mindset has somewhat changed towards learning for school as well as for helping, for example, in the garden. And there is one simple reason why that is so, and I will get to that shortly. But before that, learning is very important. It's something that we have to do throughout our whole lives, and there is a simple reason for that. And that is, in like, our brain has a neuroplasticity effect, which means that it can always grow, it can always like gain information and basically grow and change throughout your whole life. It doesn't stop growing in a certain, like, when you hit a certain age. And what that means is that when you like voluntarily stop learning, when you become, I don't know, 30 years old, or when you finish school, then your brain will start degrading. And so what we want to do is to learn throughout our whole lives. And also, if you actually want to achieve something, you just have to learn. Because if you won't, then your competition will beat you, because you won't have the knowledge that you can use to build the success which you want. And now I will go to what I actually wanted to say, which is the main point of this video. And so you should change your mindset towards when you are learning for school or when you are helping your parents. And I will explain what I mean by when you are helping your parents. And so for school, it's something we just have to go through. And that means we can't escape it, and so we should make it as easy as possible for us to go to school and to study for school. And so what that means is that when you are learning, of course there are facts or topics which might actually not be true, because they are outdated or they lack some information, and so they are insufficient, or they lack the sufficient information, and so on. So some of the things which are taught at school, you shouldn't really maybe take them into consideration as much. And of course, it's something that you can easily recognize, because if you are learning about your own country, like how the population, the ethnicity, and so on, then there is very little chance that some of those facts won't be true. And so there are some other topics, for example, the food pyramid or stuff like that, that aren't completely true. And so in that case, don't take this advice too much into consideration. But when it comes to the topics such as your own country, as I mentioned, then you can definitely implement this step or this advice. And I still haven't mentioned it. And so it's basically that you should think of it as the opportunity to learn. And I know you have expected something completely different, because it's super simple, what I have just mentioned. But bear with me, it's a great advice. And I will always mention the same example as I have mentioned. So when you are learning about your own country, it's a perfect opportunity for you to actually learn about it, because it's knowledge which you should have, the information which you should have in your brain, and something that you can always recall, because you should know at least some basic facts about your own country. And so it's a perfect opportunity, because if you won't learn it at school, then there is a high chance that you won't learn it outside of school, because it's just something we don't usually go out of our way to learn about. It's maybe people who are interested in that do so, but normal people don't. And so basically, use that opportunity to learn about it. When you're in school, you don't have anything else to do, like you can't really work on your business or something else, then use that opportunity to learn what you are being taught, basically. Of course, as I mentioned, there isn't only the information which is completely true, but you can definitely realize what is not true and what is, and learn the facts or the information which is actually true, or which you at least believe is true. And you can always do your own research and check whether the information is actually correct. And watch out for manipulation and propaganda and stuff like that. And so, to make it simple, use that opportunity to learn all that stuff in school, because you won't really make time for it outside of school. And all that information can actually be very useful for you, not directly but indirectly. If you are making content as me, then you can actually use that information. You can provide knowledge and you can get paid for it. Getting back to the second example which I mentioned, and that is helping my parents, or in your case helping your parents. In that example, I would say that also use it as an opportunity to learn. If you are helping your father with, I don't know, changing the light bulbs or something like that, use the opportunity to learn how to do it. Because doing manual stuff is something that a man, or a masculine man, should know, like at least the basic stuff. Also, when I mentioned the garden example, what I meant by that is that, for example, when you go with your mother, or with even your father, I don't know, it doesn't matter, and you are doing some sort of a garden work, you are planting something or harvesting crops, then you can learn about all those crops, when they are supposed to be harvested, when they are supposed to be planted, how should you take care of them, or also you can learn about like all the general stuff which is connected to gardening and so on. And so this was the main point of this video. Basically, use all the opportunities which you have to learn to study, because that's actually what we live for when you think about it. Because that's how we grow, that's how we learn, and that's how we become better person in general. And so if you have found this video valuable, then you will definitely like this video as well.